All of these toy horses evolved from one common ancestor. To show how we got from the common ancestor to all these different horses, a rooted phylogenetic tree will be made. It will be rooted because the distance between OTUs, or in this case the species of horses, will be known by distance and length of lines, which will be represented as pipe cleaners. The one common ancestor species of all the horses evolved as a single species throughout time. This is called anagenesis. When the single common ancestor diverged into the two species, Pegasus and the common ancestor of non-winged horses, this is cladogenesis. The Pegasus would be the outgroup, or the OTU that diverged earlier than all the other OTUs. After a while of anagenesis, the common ancestor of all wingless horses diverged into two new species, the common ancestor of solid-colored horses and the common ancestor of multicolored and gradient-colored horses. Where the different colored pipe cleaners tie together is called a node, and that is where the diverging species shares a common ancestor. The common ancestor of the multicolored horses diverged after a short period of anagenesis into a piebald pinto-spotted horse species and the common ancestor of all gradient-colored horses. Around the same time that gradient and spotted horses diverged, the common ancestor of solid-colored horses diverged into lighter, thinner horses and heavier, larger horses. The piebald horse species continued to evolve through anagenesis until present day, while the gradient horses diverged into two separate species, a large gradient horse and a small gradient horse. The common ancestor of the heavy horses diverged into two separate species seen in present day, the heavy brown horse and the heavy black horse. The common ancestor of thin horses diverged into a white species of horse that remains in present day, and a common ancestor of dark-colored horses, which very recently in time diverged into two new species, the thin brown horse and the thin black horse. When looking at this completed phylogenetic tree, we know it is a rooted tree because you can compare the distance of OTUs to the outgroup, Pegasus. The most recent common ancestor of all these horses is the common ancestor of the thin brown horse and the thin black horse. This is evident by the short pipe cleaner lines that separate these OTUs. The divergence of a small horse species and a large horse species evolved twice independently on this tree. Common ancestors of horses also evolved into brown and black species in two different occasions on this tree. One common ancestor shared between all these horses is called the internal node, and that's what makes this a rooted tree.